What is the easiest, most reliable way to consistently get perfect grains for growing mushrooms at home? Let me show you. What is up, everybody? This is Mycophilia Sage checking in here today, and in today's video I would like to show you all the magic of brown rice, aka whole grain rice, as grain spawn in the cultivation of gourmet and medicinal mushrooms. So this video is split into two parts. Well, I should say this is actually a two-part series. This is the first part of the video. So in this part, I'm going to cover the practical aspect of how to prepare your brown rice perfectly. And in the second part, the next video, I'll discuss the pros and cons of brown rice and why I personally consider it the best grain overall, particularly for small scale and personal friends and family kind of growers. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And for those of you who want to grow as I do, I have a list of all the supplies you're going to need in the description, along with the right type of rice to buy. So let's get right to it. For the brown rice preparation, you're going to first need long grain brown rice. You'll want to avoid medium and short grain rice since they're way too starchy, and also avoid white rice as there's virtually no nutrition, along with being even starchier. So throughout this video, you're gonna notice a pattern about starch. It's basically the enemy of brown rice and why so many seem to fail with this grain. But when done right, it is, in my opinion and experience, the best overall grain available for the hobbyist cultivator. But more on that later. So the second most important point when choosing your rice is to make sure that it is not parboiled. You want raw brown rice, and you're gonna need to be careful when choosing your rice since most food grade rice is already parboiled, but it's not labeled as such. Because for human consumption, it's good to have it faster, right? Like, you don't wanna wait around cooking it for 30, 40 minutes, as you're gonna have to do with the type of rice that we're gonna be getting. So why do you wanna avoid parboiled rice? Well, it's gonna cause your grains to be far too starchy and moist when done, which is bad news for our fungal friends. So the best way that I have found to avoid parboiled rice is to A, check the ingredients on the back to see if it says parboiled rice rather than just brown rice. And B, check the cooking instructions on the back. If it says simmer for 10 to 20 minutes, it's parboiled rice. And if it says anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes of simmering, then it's whole grain rice, and that's the one you want. Moving on, let's talk about how much brown rice you're gonna need for a single quart jar. So for every quart jar, you're gonna need 1¼ metric cups of brown rice. That's about 315 milliliters by volume. Once you have measured out your rice, fill a pot with water and boil it on the stove until it is a rolling boil. I mean it when I say a rolling boil. You don't want to simmer, but you want an actual high boil. Now, you're gonna need enough water to cover the grains at the bare minimum. I recommend leaving at least an inch of water coverage over the grains. Once the water is at a high boil, place your grains inside the pot and reduce the heat to medium-low and set a timer for 9 minutes. Now, if you're using whole grain basmati or jasmine rice, those are like the really skinny ones, especially the basmati, then set your timer for 7 minutes. You're gonna want your rice to be simmering from here on out. So once you're done simmering, you're gonna need to strain and rinse your rice. This is a very important part of the process. I use a colander for this. So you could drop your rice in the colander immediately after the 9 minutes or 7 minutes, depending on if you're using basmati rice, are done. And then you want to quickly rinse them with cold water, as cold as you can get. Not warm or hot water, just cold water. The colder the better. This serves three purposes. The first is the cold water will cool your rice to stop it from cooking any longer. And second, the water will rinse off the excess starch, which will help keep your grains from clumping up too much during the sterilization cycle. They're gonna still clump up, but they'll still be breakable through shaking. More on that later. And the final point is that the cold water will also coat your grains with moisture, which will be absorbed by the grains over the next 48 hours after sterilization. So for these reasons, give your grains a good rinse for a good minute or two. Once you're done rinsing, you're gonna need to remove as much water as possible. Keep shaking the colander until barely any drop comes out. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes of shaking to get to this point. After your grains are sufficiently dry, you can start filling up your quart jars. You don't wanna fill the jars all the way up to the top with the grains since they're gonna expand a lot after sterilizing. If you used a grain ratio I recommended earlier, your grains should come up to about halfway up the jar. So the next step is you have to jar your lids. But before I do that, I like to take a piece of paper towel and go around the lid to get rid of any rice residue off of there. So after your jars are filled, take a piece of aluminum foil and cover your lids. So the next step now is sterilization. Please note that I will be using the Instant Pot for this, my beloved Instant Pot. However, you can also use a regular old pressure cooker or even steam brown rice. But I personally always recommend the Instant Pot for its balance of safety, ease of use, versatility, and effectiveness. And no, I am not sponsored by them. If you're using an Instant Pot, you're going to want to use a pressure cook setting on high for 2 to 2.5 hours. Now, if you're using a 15 psi pressure cooker, you can go for an hour and a half and 2 to 2.5 hours for 10 psi pressure cookers, which is basically the same as an Instant Pot because the Instant Pot is practically a 10 to 12 psi pressure cooker. Now 30 minutes is usually set to be enough at 15 psi for brown rice, but it definitely does not hurt to be as safe as possible. So in this video, I'm not going to cover steaming because I recommend just getting an Instant Pot or a traditional pressure cooker to get started. But if these tools are currently out of your budget, then I'm going to link a video in the description that covers the steaming process. Now, once you have finished sterilizing, don't force the steam out of the Instant Pot or pressure cooker. Let it sit for a couple of hours or preferably overnight until it cools down. This is going to help your jars last way longer since it's going to prevent it from becoming brittle over time, which it will anyways. Once cool, take your jars out and remove the foil. You may notice that there is excess moisture inside the jars, but don't worry as that's completely normal at this point. Your rice grains have not yet absorbed the moisture layer that we have applied during the boil. They will gradually absorb this over the next 24 hours or so. If you have correctly followed the steps up till this point and not try to take any shortcuts, the inside of your grain jars should have very little, if any, water droplets. Now, after you remove the foil, you might also notice that your grains have clumped up. This is totally normal because of the starch content of the rice, and this is really where rice is different, right? And I'm going to talk about it in the next video more. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people said rice is impossible to use. It's nonsense, skills issue. But back to this video. You're going to want to break it up immediately after sterilizing since it's going to become much harder once the rice has absorbed the excess moisture in the jar and it clumps up and it dries. Then it's like glue. It's like an adhesive thing. So give it a good shake and don't be afraid to be aggressive with it.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Once you have sufficiently loosened up the rice, you are ready for inoculation. We will cover that in a future mushroom mastery episode. But for now, leave your rice at room temperature. Don't leave it inside a humid environment like a tent. Don't do that. You want ambient room temperature. Put it on a shelf, put it on a cupboard, put it on a desk, put it on a rack, I don't care. Just make sure that it's not hot, just make sure that it's not humid. You just want ambient temperature, don't overthink it. Just don't forget to remove your foil. You can also leave it inside your fridge, but there is literally 0 point other than just taking up space. Just don't overthink it. Now with that, we have come to the end of the process. Congratulations, you now have beautiful, clean, healthy grain for your mushrooms. So now in the next video, we're going to cover all the details about brown rice, the history and stuff, but this is for all intents and purposes how you create perfect rice every single time. Great grain spawn. This is what I personally use and it has never let me down. All right guys, so until next time, hit that like, hit that subscribe, all the ways you can support me, discount codes and stuff like that, all in the description. You can support me on Mycology, that's my website. Patreon has taken me down, YouTube has taken me down. Big social media companies have been trying to take me down for a while now, but every single time I come back and I'm not going anywhere, guys. So guys, thank you for watching. So next video, we're gonna go to part 2 of this video, but for all intents and purposes, if you just want to get perfect grain spawn, this was the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know a lot of you guys asked me for this for a long time. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Check out in the description for a bunch of cool stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Okay.